able to catch that last set wave. Cause
just, very savvy maneuver for Andy Irons there to close that heat. I mean, had he went on Yuri's wave and kept him off of it, Yuri would have been on Andy's wave out the back, and it might have been a different situation.
Here's a replay of that last wave of Andy's that did come in as a 6.43, his best wave of the heat.
Nice snap as he zips through that turn there, and another snap. And another snap. Kind of looked like he knew he needed to make that wave. He wasn't really unloading too hard. He knew he had the wave to better his score. As we called, when he rode that wave, it looked like a better score than some of his other waves. And, he did what he needed to do. And we will see Andy Irons into round 4 here at the Billabong Mundaka Pro, keeping his title bid alive, Dave.
Yes, indeed, but just by the hairs of his chinny chin on that one, because that was tight down to the wire. Andy getting the wave he needed in the last 60 seconds of that heat, and he will be coming up against the winner of heat number 10 of this round of 3 of the Billabong Pro Mundaka, between Shaun Cansdell in the red singlet and Trent Munro in yellow. So an all-Australian matchup. Shaun Cansdell currently sitting 16th in the world in his rookie season, and Trent Munro having a bit of a shocker this year, sitting in 30th currently and needing a big result.
Well, this is
in Mundaka.
This is a very interesting heat. This next heat, a very very much of a contrast in surfing styles, where you have Shaun Cansdell is a real swoopy and round type of surfer, kind of a la Joel Parkinson style.
Yep.
Real smooth and carvy. And whereas you got Trent Munro, who's really compact and vertical. This is going to be an interesting heat.
This is going to be an unreal heat. We saw Trent Munro light it up against Marcelo Nunes in round 2, posting a 14.83 two-wave total. There they are, Shaun Cansdell, 2006 Foster's ASP Men's World Tour rookie in red, and Trent Munro, former top 5 finisher in yellow. So Trent is known for having one of the best backside attacks on tour. He really threw down against Marcelo Nunes for a 14.83 two-wave total. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen in this one. What are you thinking? Sounds like GT is just about ready to come on with an interview. But in the meantime, Dino, what are you thinking? Trent, Shaun, who's going to take this one?
Well, I think it's it's a toss-up. It's a 50-50 if you're a betting man. But I have to say it's a strange dynamic for Trent Munro to be sitting where he is in the ratings after last year. Starting the year off with the 5th place at the Quicksilver Pro on the Gold Coast of Australia, and then finishing it up, backing it up with a win at Bells Beach. He started off the year in crazy form last year. He was actually leading the ratings for about 2 or 3 events,
exactly.
And this year, it's a different story. He's number 30 in the world, Dave, and we're winding down to the end of this year, and he's definitely going to need a result.
Yeah, let's look at the results that Trent's had so far this year. His best result up till now, an equal 9th placing. So if he makes it through this one and into round 4, that will equal his best result of the year. So for Trent, that is, it's pretty hard to win an event the year before and then have basically your average result being a equal 17th, losing out in round 3. He's got to be gutted, especially when you see the rookies. But you know what? The rookies this year have really turned the rankings on the head. Look, you got Bobby Martinez, was in the top 5 for much of the year, in the top 7 right now. 2 rookies basically in the top 16 with Martinez and Cansdell.
And you got Adriano de Souza, too, as well, starting the year off with a 3rd-place finish on the Gold Coast.
Exactly. Currently sitting 22nd. And then a bunch of big names like Trent and Phil McDonald, Jake Patterson, Nathan Hedge, all those guys lower down in the rankings. And we're going to move over to GT. A few words with our last heat winner, Andy Irons.
Well, Mr. Andy Irons, you had us all kind of on the edge of the seat. That 6.43 at the end put you over the top. First that wave, second conditionally a little tough out there, huh?
Stop breaking. Tides are so drastic here, it's crazy. The heat before mine had a couple waves, and that one just stopped, so it was pretty sketchy.
And so, I think that kind of underscored you on that layback, brother. Like I'm old enough to remember Laird doing those from Kauai back in the days. What's up, bro?
bring the bird cut, lay back, no shore, and yeah, they weren't digging it. They gave me like a 4. I guess you gotta fully disappear and get on the foam ball or something. Yeah, didn't really work out.
Now, how's your boards working? For those conditions, is that the board of choice? Is that the regular thing that you ride around town?
That's what I've been riding the last couple contests. Feels really good. It's a little 6'1" JS. It's really loose, fast. I've been liking it. These conditions, I don't know. It's pretty much a luck factor. Whoever catches the wave wins. So just trying to get lucky.
Spent a lot of time in the flow rider for this event, I'm assuming, because it's like almost stationary out there.
Yeah, some ways go backwards, actually. It's weird.
Well, keep it weird, Andy. You're into the 4th, and that's good news for your title contention, my brother.
Yeah, it's a good day. Good day at the office.
Keep it going, brother.
Yeah, man.
All right, boys, back to you.
All right, congratulations to Andy Irons, and a big up to GT down there bringing us the latest from the cliffside here in Mundaka. Dino, looks like you're glued to the email. Okay, we're going to go straight to some replays. Dino, first wave of Shaun Cansdell. Scores coming in now to give you an idea. It looks like a pretty
as you can
mediocre
see, Shaun here, it looks like the wind's coming up the face, but nonetheless, nice snap off the top from the youngster from Australia, Shaun Cansdell, a rookie here on the tour. Just really comfortable on his feet. Nice projection through that snap off the top right there. Looking really speedy. His board looks really fast. The wave didn't really allow much opportunity, but nonetheless, he put together a nice string of maneuvers.
Yes, he did. Good enough, though. Oh, in the judges' eyes for a 3.67, because I think that was kind of a smaller in-between wave. It's true. We actually were listening and watching Andy's interview with GT while these guys were surfing. And last of yellow, just to give you a little hint, it's a 7.83, so you can blow this one up, Dino. Take it away.
It looked, here you go, Trent Munro, just a big backside vertical blast through the top of the lip there. Just a really low center of gravity, and right here he just yanks this thing back down into the pocket. Trent Munro really stomping on the back foot there, just cranking it down, to assure that entry back into the wave with the wind coming up the face. Dave, you got to think, twisting through that turn, making, almost the most you could out of that wave. That was a really well surfed wave by Trent Munro, who is on the border at the moment, rated number 30 in the world, stomping on the tail through each turn, just assuring a decent score for himself on that wave.
Well,
Dave.
definitely a little bit repetitive, but with the speed, power, and fluidity that Trent is known for. I mean, generally regarded by his peers as one of the best backhand surfers on tour, and going completely vertical. Geez, and the replay's still going as we finished up. That was about 10 turns in a row on that one.
Yeah, he looked really focused on that wave. Like you had mentioned, that's a really good point. I think that it's a little bit more difficult to be unrepetitive, when you're backside on a wave like this with the wind blowing up the face. I mean, if you go out on the face and do a cutback, the judges are going to write you off. So, I think it's safe to say that, up and down, vertical, top to bottom surfing is going to be rewarded backside in this event, especially
definitely
today with the waves the way they are.
That and the tube. And yeah, it's only, shoulder to head high out there on the guys. Then there's Shaun Cansdell, speaking of little tubes. Oh, interesting. Like to see that on replay on the front angle. But just couldn't make that section, Dino.
Yeah, it looked like Shaun was semi-playing around on that one, but nonetheless, he was trying to make the most out of what he was served up there.
Well, his first wave of 3.67, his second wave of 1.83. And if he could have continued on that one, maybe would have gotten a little bit better score. I'm sure it'll be a 2.4 on that one. Bring you the front angle replay, if possible, in just a few seconds. But 2.33 to go with the 7.83 from Trent Munro. Here it is. Let's see what these tubes look like from the judge's eye view.
Little shampoo barrel for Shaun Cansdell. Never really in the, too deep. Nonetheless, looking like he's having lots of fun.
Oh, no doubt. Anytime you're inside the green room or getting a little chandelier or shampoo barrel, as you said, Dino, it's always fun. But, yeah, trying to stay high and tight on that one. The tube section out the back is quite technical. So, once again, that good for a 2.4. Shaun Cansdell in second, needing a 6.5. Trent Munro out front, looking to replace his 2-3-3 with something more along the lines of his 7-8-3 with 20 minutes remaining in this one, Dino.
Well, yeah,
over.
As you mentioned earlier, we started talking about the rookies and stuff, and you'd mentioned Bobby Martinez, and that's a crazy talent. I mean, think about it. It's his first year on the tour, and obviously the world of surfing had been waiting for his arrival onto the WCT. Everybody knew how talented he was, and knew that when he showed up, it was going to be serious business. And boy, everyone was right. That kid's vicious. I mean, a completely different approach, but I mean, it's amazing. He's the kid is just on fire. And this is a very good wave for his style of surfing.
Oh, Bobby loves it. I mean, he was the standout surfer on his backhand in Mexico, and here this is kind of just a La Jolla reversed. I mean, not quite as perfect Mundaka today as La Jolla was down in Mexico, but yeah, Bobby, well, he's the first guy out on his free surf. It looks like his boards are working insane, and I think he's more than lived up to everyone's expectations this year. Everyone was talking about Poncho Sullivan as being maybe even a world title contender in his first year, and Poncho's had a good run as another tour rookie, sitting in the 25th position, but really Bobby Martinez that just kind of stood up and said, hey, it's all about me.
Well, I think Bobby Martinez is a very unique, he has a very unique approach to surfing. He's very cat-like with his approach, not really using much of his upper body to swing his momentum onto the wave, more or less all hip and leg movement.
Yeah.
Kind of real similar to a soccer player. I know Bobby was a really good soccer player when he was young. He was awesome. Actually, tons of talent scouts were searching him down, trying to get him to play, potentially in the Olympics and
guess he kind of looks a little like Ronaldinho.
Yeah, he's
Ronaldo.
He's
more Ronaldo, I guess.
Crazy ability as an athlete, and I think that he was, it was just his time. It was time for him to do his work to get on the tour, and it couldn't have came at a better time. He was ready for it mentally, physically, and he's hanging out with CJ and Damian Hobgood, cruising, and he just looks like he's in a really good headspace, and it's great to see him. The guy's just amazing. He's got an amazing talent, and he's very unique. With his parents, where he grew up and his whole background. He's just it's great to have that variety on tour. He really brings something that's to the tour that we've never seen.
Yeah, definitely unique surfer, unique character. Really cool guy as well. See him hanging out, as you're saying, with all the boys. He's out at the tapas bars in the evening having, a little bit of chill with everyone, but not on the party program, definitely focused on a run for
well, it looks like Trent Munro out the back.
Yep.
Humongous floater and a big old snap on the open face for Trent Munro as he tries to pull in the barrel there, Dave. And
well, that section ran away from him, as we've seen in a lot of heats we've seen over the last 9 days. That second section, depending on what the tide's doing, is either offers up a closeout to kind of do a last re-entry off of, or it could even throw down some tubes or possibly nice floaters over that section. But on that one, just kind of shut down on Trent. But before it did, he got some vicious turns in. Great first floater.
Yeah, that was a really good last snap on that wave. He blasted through the vertical part of that wave. As he took off on that wave, he kind of ran through the middle of it and then did that big floater airdrop, and then that second turn on that wave was that big snap in the vertical part of the lip. That was one of the more solid waves we've seen in this heat so far, Dave.
Well, and good enough for a 5.67 without even connecting that second section. So Trent, just little by little, bit by bit, moving out in front of Shaun Cansdell in this one. Still plenty of time, 15 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, so just about halfway through the heat. And if Trent can get a 7.83 and a 5.67 in 15 minutes, then so can Shaun Cansdell. Nothing amazing out there, but looks like Trent is picking up steam, while Shaun's just kind of in neutral.
Yeah.
And funny, too, because the conditions have kind of favored the goofy footers out here, and there's very few heats where it goes for the backhanders unless you've got two regular footers out there together. So Trent really taking it to the surfer that you'd have to say would be in the favorite in this one, Shaun Cansdell.
Yeah, I think sometimes, when the waves are real short and like pockety, backsiders, like especially Trent Munro, where he goes up and down really good, like vertical off the bottom, off the top. Well, it looks like we have another wave from Trent Munro. He looks like he's opting to kick out of that wave, Dave. The wave wasn't really allowing much opportunity.
Yeah, that one was just a little bit too small. It kind of looked like when he took off that he wanted to look for a little tube there and then kind of ran away from him. So he's, oh, can I hit the lip? And then he just got all the way down the closeout section. And it is now 1:15. So if we're not on the peak low tide, we're just a few minutes away. So hopefully, keep your fingers crossed, everyone. Conditions should be cleaning up and picking up a little as the high tide does make its way back in. The change of tide took place yesterday at the end of Heat 16, and just as Joel Parkinson and Jared Howes paddled out for Heat number 1 of the round of 3, and as everyone saw either live and direct or on your Heat by Heat button, the Joel Parkinson Jared Howes Heat was an absolute barn burner.
Well, it looks like we have the rookie paddling it. Actually, Trent Munro's up and riding in yellow. Our current Heat leader. Nice couple snaps, kind of just a check snap. Nice little floater airdrop on an open face. Another little snap off the top, and another twisting his head all the way around. Kind of unique there on his approach there. He's twisting his neck and head completely around. He was almost looking back at the wave as he kind of says a small gesture to the judges like, here I am, or...
actually, I don't think that was a claim. I think he was just telling Gary Elkerton, please come pick me up, Gaza.
Well, it looks like Shaun Cansdell on the tube out the back, Dave.
And that one just running away from him, too. It's, you got to pick the right line to keep the speed up to be able to make it through those barrels because they're, there's about a meter. It's maybe 2 foot, 3 foot out there. Barely big enough to tuck yourself into those ones, and you got to get the speed up to be able to get out. I mean, Shaun Cansdell, he's not 16th in the world for nothing. He's a super talented surfer, but just tube hunting out there and really not finding the joy that he's looking for.
Yeah, well, as we were talking about Bobby Martinez, he is coming up in the next heat, and to all you viewers online around the world watching, this is the 2006 Billabong Mundaka Pro, and we are, trying to get through round number 3 as we watch
speak of the devil,
Bobby Martinez
is
taking a stroll down the rocks, ready to hit the lineup. We do have 12 minutes remaining in this heat, and our current heat leader is Trent Munro. And in second place is Shaun Cansdell, needing 9.83. Nearly a combination there. A very tall order for the conditions, Dave.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to find a 9.83 out there at the moment unless the swell really does start pushing a bit and opening up those tube sections, Dino, because, with just turns, I think we've only seen one wave. I believe it was from Dean Morrison on day 1 where he got a 9.0 for a wave with just turns, but otherwise you got to get barreled to get into the 9-point range. So
well, actually, Tommy Whitaker yesterday got a 9.5 against Chris Ward, just annihilating that wave. I mean, Chris Ward was in blistering form yesterday. Some of the best surfing I've seen from him in a year or two. Just looking more and more fit every week. He's coming off of some serious injuries the last couple of years, and it's great to see him looking the way he's been looking. But, man, yesterday, Tommy Whitaker, just patience played off in that. He so well for Tommy. I mean, Chris Ward started off with a 7.5, and I think he backed it up with a 6.
Yep.
And Tommy Whitaker just waited and waited and waited, and then Tommy got his chance and unloaded on a wave and got a 7.75, and then at one point there was about 10 or 9 minutes left or something, and Tommy Whitaker had second priority and Chris had first priority, and a wave came and looked like Tommy Whitaker baited Chris Ward
into taking it the first wave of the set,
and Chris Ward took it, and Tommy went okay, and then Tommy Whitaker just sat out the back and waited, and then before you knew it, the wave of the heat came, and Tommy just lit it up. he was rewarded a 9.5 and really put Chris in a tough position. And it's tough luck for Chris. You know, he's obviously on the
He
bubble.
was surfing insane and just had some super hard heats in this contest. Barely lost out to Bruce in round 1. Then really did a job on Nathan Hedge in round 2, and then just that squeaker in round 3 against Tom Whitaker. But Tom Whitaker's been on fire and definitely deserved that win.
Yeah,
As much as it pains me.
Yeah, some of the
being from
boys, some
Orange
of the
County to say that, but gotta love Tommy Witz. I mean, he has the right equipment. He's an incredible surfer. Another kind of like Bobby Martinez, very athletic guy. He could have been a professional Aussie rules football player if he hadn't been such a good surfer.
Yeah, he's so nonchalant too. Such a gentleman, Tommy Whitaker. He's an amazing person, you know. And you know, getting back to Chris Ward, it's you know, he has to be one of the most exciting surfers in the world as well, you know. And it was a bummer watching that heat because you know, had he had a little better strategy, he would have had a better chance in that heat. You know, Tommy kept us cool, you know, and you know, obviously he strategized the heat, but as well he just was on fire. The guy is just in really good form right now, and it's interesting to see. You know, I was asking him yesterday about. I was looking at his board, and he had a tail pad on his board, and I've hung out with Tommy quite a bit, and he used to write tail pads off, you know, and now I see one on his board.
Did you get any insight on that from him? Fair enough. Well, 8 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this one. That last wave of Trent Munro, 5.83. So Trent's still out in the lead. Shaun Cansdell needing almost perfection, a 9.99. And we're going to play some of the word association games with a one-word answer for Mundaka from hopefully one of the two guys in the water. Oh, just from everyone. Okay, Mundaka.
Sick.
Tubes.
Barreling?
Just perfect barrels.
Yeah, I don't know.
Waiting.
Barrel.
Beautiful. Beautiful friendly town.
Tapas. Authentic, I guess.
Well, barrels and authentic. Still authentic. Not many tubes out there today, but Shaun Cansdell, Dino, taking this one apart.
Looking really loose. How's that wrapped snap right there? Man, this kid's on fire. You know, obviously he's in a tight position right now, needing quite a big score. But man, this could change it a bit. He might need quite a bit less after this wave. Just look at the kid's talent.
Nice
Dave.
tail slide snap to fakie to finish that one off, and just reverts it back around.
So
sick little turn from Shaun. So he was needing a 9.99, which basically needing a combo score to come back on Trent with 7 minutes remaining, and he's going to need a lot less after that one, and we'll let you know exactly how much less as soon as the judges.
Well, here we
Take
go,
that
Dave.
scoring. Let's check the replay, Dino. What do you reckon?
Yeah, look at this. Look at the guy. He's just nice snap off the top from the rookie Shaun Cansdell as he snaps again through the lip, and nice little floater off the top, and right here wrapping and twisting through that turn, and another nice wrap. And I think those wrap turns are what separates him from a lot of the kids these days. I mean, as we were talking about earlier, he's got a real swoopy round style. And it's great to see, you know, a bit of old school style in surfing there as he uses his rail and carves through those top turns.
And Trent, heard you just layering praise upon praise on Shaun Cansdell, going, Dino, check this out, man.
Oh, man. Trent Munro putting the heat on this wave, Dave.
He's got that speed up. Look at just racing down the line, but I was going to say no super huge maneuvers yet, but he
just kablamo on that last turn.
Finished that one off with style. Now, is he going to paddle out or is he going to call for the jet ski?
He pushed that last turn, just stomping his tail as he, you know, went through the later part of that maneuver, just yanked it down.
Well, I think he must have known that Shaun Cansdell got a pretty solid wave on his last one, and Trent looking to replace a 5.83. So anyways, Trent just Knew he needed to unload at the end of that one. He got some solid turns in the first section, then kind of sped through, got his speed up for that last section.
He stomped that last turn, Dave. I mean,
Bashed it.
A couple of those first turns were really, really nice snaps, but never really able to completely redirect. And he stomped that last one, and you got to think that was a pretty nice score for Trent Munro. As we see Shaun Cansdell up and riding out the back on what looks like a pretty good wave, Dave.
Oh, smacked the lip on that one. It's a great angle from the boat. Another big off the lip snap there for Shaun. Actually gets his rail in the wave. Oh, frontside 180 with the grab. Can't completely revert his way out of it. Too bad, because that would have scored big. First aerial maneuver that we've seen of the day. Haven't seen many airs out here at Mundaka actually at all through the week, because as you could see in that word association game, it's all about tubes and barrels out here.
Tubes, barrels, and airs.
And airs, thank goodness. That's the innovative and progressive criteria coming into play there. 6.83 on the wave before for Shaun Cansdell, a 5.9 on that last one of Trent Munro. So before that last wave that we just watched on screen of Shaun was needing a 6.91. His wave before that was a 6.83, so pretty much needs a carbon copy of his second to last wave.
Which is not much for Shaun Cansdell.
No, not much at all.
He's definitely got, plenty of talent with plenty of time still. As we watch the replay of Shaun Cansdell.
Trent Munro.
Trent Munro up and riding on the replay here. As you can see, he kind of never really goes completely vertical. He kind of snaps it, kind of keep his momentum more parallel down the line.
Trying to keep his feet up exactly and watching down the line as he bends his way through these backside off the tops.
And that second turn, the one before that last one, was really nice, throwing tons of spray out the back. Great angles from the cameraman here in the channel.
No doubt. Well, that's why he's not getting the bigger scores, is because the judges really want to see the most radical maneuvers, the most critical part of the wave. And Trent was more racing down the line on that one and not going completely vertical, not pushing quite as hard. I mean, just compare those kind of setup turns at the beginning with his big off-the-lip re-entry at the end, and that's the difference. If he could do all his turns like that last one, he'd be up in the 7 or 8 point range.
Absolutely.
Instead of looking at a high 5.
There's a great shot of Mick Fanning hanging with Taj Burrow. Mick Fanning, the pressure is off him at the moment. He is in round number 4 already, and Taj Burrow we have yet to see in round number 3. He's coming up here pretty soon.
In heat number 13 up against Adrian Buchan, the young rookie ace, in his 3rd CT event of the season. Unfortunately for Adrian, he injured his knee as soon as he qualified, and this is that last wave. Shaun Cansdell good for a 6.07.
Well, if you watch the replay, he blows the tail out the back right there. That was pretty committed surfing from Shaun Cansdell. And another snap out the back. And, had the judges, maybe that was why the judges rewarded that wave so well. He really put together a nice string of maneuvers. You got to think, had he made this last turn, it looked like he almost had it. And had he made that, he might have been looking at a really big score, Dave.
Well, it was a 6.07 as it was for those first 2 vertical off the lips. And then that third turn to set up for that air, he was only needing a 6.91, so you've got to think if he had pulled that air that he would be sitting in first right now and not chasing Trent Munro. Only got 1 minute and 10 seconds left in this one, so...
Well, it looks like there could be a set out the back, whether or not it hits the sandbar in time or not, or it might just disappear into the
I don't know. There's some good
bay.
lines out there, Dino. And 1 minute remaining. It's just going to be a question of can they make their way onto the bank in time to give Shaun Cansdell one last shot at Trent Munro.
Well, it looks like Shaun Cansdell is paddling. I'm not quite sure who has priority at the moment, but the current heat leader in yellow, Trent Munro, seeming to have priority at the moment.
Yep, Trent Munro does have priority. Nuno's just announced it out.
This is really interesting, Dave.
30 seconds remaining, Dino. Talk about coming down the wire.
Trent's going to have to keep him off this one. As you see Trent Munro up and riding, and a nice kind of a parallel floater. It looks like there's one out the back, Dave. I don't know if there's going to be quite enough time for Shaun Cansdell to have a
15
chance at it.
seconds yet.
Oh, man.
And Shaun is up and riding as Trent kicks off that one. I don't know if that'll replace his 5.9, and Shaun's going to need a 6.91 on this one, Dino. Can he do it?
Well, there he went. He went off the bottom, off the top. Important turn.
Ooh, well, he pulled that off.